episode 81. Hello everyone and welcome to Wolff&Schafe podcast. My name is Magdalena and this is my plushy co-host Domarat. Hello. So, I'm back. I'm back, you guys. It's been a while. For multiple reasons, one of it being my parents' visit, the other me being hopelessly sick with fever for 5 days and then recovering. So yeah, it's been tough. Anyway, you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry under my full name, which is Magdalena Wolff with double F. And show notes appear in the down bar. Helpful links can be found in the video description here on YouTube. And what can I say? I do not have... You'd expect after 3 weeks, you'd expect I would have so much to show you. But yeah, still I do have things to show you. First, I have actually 2 finished objects, but one of them I don't have with me here because it's in the kindergarten with my son. So yeah, his little plump hands were getting cold, and gloves that he has, you know, with 5 fingers, they are really a hell to put on a 4-year-old's hands. So he would, you know, have 2 fingers in one finger of the glove, or and then they would be too big for him, so he would be pretty helpless, and yeah, for example, he couldn't munch on a cracker I gave him. He kept, it kept falling from his hands, so I decided to make him fingerless mitts, just like mommy has, and she loves them. So yeah, one evening I just sat down, I took some yarn that I had left over from my unicorn. Yeah, she might appear again. Come on. Woo. Yeah, so remember her? It's Nila the unicorn. Hi. And this is the yarn that I used for her body. It's Wolff&Schafe Romulus, which is worsted weight superwash merino, or Aran actually, in the Silver Towers colorway. Hello. Yeah. So I still have yarn left, and I thought it would be perfect for those mitts. So I had him, Stasio, next to me, and I just measured his hand, and I made these in one evening. So now he loves them. All of the teachers at the kindergarten love them because they are so practical. But yeah, at the moment it's minus 8 degrees. It's freezing, so yeah, he needs full gloves at the moment. But for some 2 weeks it was really perfect for him. And I knitted it on 4.5 millimeter needles, which is US size 7, using these VPNs that I really like. These are Addi Colibri. They're colorful. So what I did was basically first the cuff 2x2 ribbing, then with a little decoration of seed stitch, like, I don't even remember, I think 4 stitches, something like that. And then I bound off after a couple of rows of garter stitch. And yeah, for the thumb I simply bound off 8 stitches, I believe, and then knitted further. So I started here, finished here. And yeah, and they fit, they are very good. even though they're getting some abuse already. But yeah, these were fun and quick knit. And it was, yeah, I haven't knitted from Aran weight yarn in quite a while, so it was a nice change to see progress so quickly. And then next up, I have a hat. So yeah, we're having a knit along on our Ravelry group. Check it out. There are two threads. One is for chatter, so showing your progress and chatting about your projects. The other is only for finished objects. And this hat is Kagami by Agata Mackiewicz, and the yarn is Wolff&Schafe yarns on the cocoon base, which is 100% superwash blue faced Leicester, and it's also Aran weight yarn. So let's try it on. I blocked it. Whee! Whee! It's cute, it's nice, and it's a bit slouchy, just like I wanted. So yeah, woo! I think it looks pretty cool because it has this subtle pattern going on here, but speckles don't kill it completely, so it's still visible, but you also get speckles, so it's cool, and it's a very squishy. So I was finishing this with fever. It was like, I have to do something, I will just knit. And I did not mess it up. That's something, huh? And actually, I was knitting this hat on, except for the ribbing here, which I knit on circular needles. I used these were 3.5mm needles, which is US size. US size, I wonder what. Wait a minute. 5? Maybe, or 4. 4, it's 4. And then I use these. These are US size 6 4mm needles. These are bamboo, one of my oldest knitting needles. And I've knitted really a lot of projects on them. I really don't like bamboo needles, to be honest, but since I'm knitting at least 2 other projects on 4mm needles, I just had no choice. So I picked this up, and since this was quite a fast project to make, it went good. It did go good. So I have this hat now, and yeah, most of my other projects haven't grown too much, but I mentioned when I was showing you this shawl, this is Fairy Hill Shawl by Helen Stewart. It's not the same colorway, but still I think it would be pretty okay to wear them together, like this is on my neck and this on my head. So this is Wolff&Schafe yarns Wilderness in the Fig Bush colorway, and this is Eden Cottage yarns Titus 4-ply algae colorway. So I basically did a couple of rows, you can tell. There is my progress keeper here, and this is how much I did in 3 weeks, you guys. But yeah, I have a hat and mittens for my son. And again, these are 4mm needles, yes, size 6 Knit Pro Carbons interchangeables. So I have them stuck here in this project. Oh, and another thing about this yarn. Last episode I said that, oh, I haven't weighed how much yarn I have left, but I think it's, what did I say, 35? I said something, and then I measured it and it was exactly what I said. It was incredible. Like, my eye can weigh yarn. Special eye powers. Weighing eye powers. So yeah, what else? My socks haven't, I don't know what to think about it, you guys. It's just, these are the slowest socks ever, even though I'm knitting from a really gorgeous yarn. They just don't grow. They grew a little bit, but it's still such a long way to go. I just don't know. This is Jinx Yarn's strong sock in the Naughty or Nice colorway, and this is Wolff&Schafe Yarn's Blitzed in Neptunia colorway. So yeah. The other problem I might be having is that my yarn got tangled, so maybe it's just putting me off from knitting with it. It's just the inside of the ball there is a tangle and it just irritates me. And I'm knitting as usual on 2.5mm needles, US size 1.5, and a very long cable, 2 at a time. I'm knitting. I'm not knitting these two, to be honest. So yeah, let's have a sip of something. My poor throat has been through a lot recently. Yeah, I had the flu. Did I say that I had flu? Oh, it was pretty horrible. I haven't been that sick in ages. So yeah, lastly, when it comes to knitting, there is, I'm so sad because some people are already finishing their projects and I'm completely not. My Zweig. So this is Zweig by Caitlin Hunter, and I love it, but I haven't knitted on it in ages. Well, to be honest, I did yesterday, but it's like, again, this much. Can you see that? Can you see that? Yeah, a couple of rows, really. So, this is my Zweig. I'm using... Ooh. As my main color, Wolff&Schafe Dew, which is 70% baby alpaca, 30% mulberry silk blend, and the Momotaro colorway, and this is Old Maiden Aunt Merino Nylon Sparkle, I think, and the Jasper colorway, which I love, and I still have like exactly half of the skein, so it's 50 grams. 50 grams of this beauty that I can use for socks. Yoo-hoo. And then I will have matching socks for my sweater. Wouldn't that be awesome? That would be awesome. So here again I have 4mm needles. Just my regular Knit Pro interchangeables, and also for one, as a stitch holder for one of the sleeves, I used, where is it? I used my other 4mm needles. These are like really short for knitting hats. So yeah, I could have done this with this set, but alas no. So yeah, all my 4mm needles were gone, so I had to use these old guys, yeah, for the hat. So this is all about my knitting projects, but it's not all about knit. It's not the end of the knitting segment today because this is heavy. I received something in the mail from the States, and it's a book. Look! I got this book to make a review. So the lady from the publishing house contacted me and asked whether I would like to review their book. It's a new edition, completely revised and updated Vogue knitting, and it's like a knitting Bible. It's so impressive. It is heavy, as I said, and yeah, let's have a look. This is the cover. Oh, pretty! How pretty is that? So it's by the editors of the Vogue Knitting magazine, and it's, oh, it will be hard to show you, but it's very well, really very well organized. Look inside, so pretty. You can tell that they have experience with making photos, pretty photos of yarn, huh? I will just remove this cover because it's a bit hard to show you. So it's very well organized. You have, of course, table of contents, but you have also color coded. The edges are color coded. And what do we have here? We start with yarns and supplies. So it tells you about needle sizes, yarn weights, these kind of stuff. And yeah, it's really helpful especially when you're starting. But here you have also pictures about yarn structure. And yeah, all the basics. All the basics. Then there's a table for knitting needle sizes. I might make use of it, huh? So yeah, 3.5 millimeters is US size 4. I was right. And then, ding ding ding. Yeah, there's notions, knitting accessories, stuff like that. Then we go to basic techniques, which is how you hold your yarn, casting on, basic knit, purl stitch, joining yarns. Oh yeah, it's actually what joining yarns 48. So they show you various techniques, how you can join your yarn so it doesn't look awful. Like I did myself use the Russian join a couple of times. It's very clever. I did use the felted join. It's also good. It gives you good results as far as I know. So yeah, your basic techniques, also various cast-ons, bind-offs, continental and versus English knitting, then the whole chapter on cables. Cables. See, and you get all those charts here. So introduction to cables, types of cables, understanding cable symbols, and so on and so forth. Everything is explained, and you get pictures, and what is really cool, well, it's just a visual thing, but this chapter is blue coated, and the yarn here is blue as well. This one is red, and here the yarn is red. Ain't that cool? So we get the cables, then we get the whole chapter on color knitting. So stranded knitting, intarsia, bobbins, shorts, slips, mosaic knitting. Let's have a look at that. I don't think I've ever done mosaic knitting. What? But yeah, it's something like that. Then the whole chapter about lace. Yarn overs, various techniques and charts and whatnot. Then how to block lace, because it's very important when you're knitting lace, right? Blocking. Circular knitting. This is green. What do I have here? Oh, for example, I found in the circular knitting, I found sticking. It's popular these days, isn't it? Haven't tried it yet, but maybe one day I will. So this is the whole explanation about sticking. Then directional knitting. So many techniques. Really, you can choose from these. You can get inspired. I think also when you want to design something yourself. Center out squares. So how to start a square. You know, these days there are those scrap blankets that you make like a huge square. You start in the center and then you go out. I think it's something like that. Haven't tried it, so I don't know exactly. Then advanced techniques such as brioche knitting, double knitting, felting, and others. There is so much good stuff here, you guys. Oh, there's explanation about dropped stitches. Good. Understanding instructions. Whole chapter on it. Also on basics, but sometimes it's important, like gauge, counting rows, knitting terminology, and there's like a whole like a alphabetical list of the terms, such as keeping to pat, whatever it means, a term used when new instructions are given, such as shaping, but the established pattern must be continued. Okay, pat as pattern, get it. Symbols, for like knitting symbols found in charts. Oh, there's a whole chapter on correcting errors. That's for me. Yeah, so again it shows you correcting a cable by cutting. Adding lifelines, I did that with my oracle shawl, haven't I? Unraveling rows. Yeah, everything is here, really. Oh, darning, it's good. It's good for fixing your socks that somebody's dogs made a hole in. I still haven't mended those holes in my sock. Okay, then there's a whole chapter on finishing, which is very helpful because how you should block, seaming, grafting or Kitchener stitch, picking up stitches, sewing in a sleeve, and so on. And it's a green chapter. Then there's a great chapter on designing sweaters. So if you feel like you're experienced enough and you'd like to do something on your own, there are so many helpful instructions. There are types of sleeves you can make on increases, decreases, shapings, and yeah. Ooh, I get dizzy only by looking at it. So yeah. Placing stitches on a holder for underarm. Yeah, because you can do it wrong. I did that wrong once, at least. A couple of times. So, neck bands. See? Basic crew neck, V-neck band, square neck band. And then crocheted edges. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This chapter is very long, but it has like really a lot of techniques. Shoulder pads. Interesting. Then designing shawls. There's a whole chapter on designing shawls. It's showing you various types of construction of a shawl, like crescent, triangle, half circle, and something I cannot pronounce. and more. Circle, Shetland shawl, asymmetric. Yeah. Then designing accessories, and what I really love is types of hats. Look, I can learn English from it, you know, new words for types of hats. So yeah. And how to measure your head for the hat, stuff like that. Gloves, mittens, socks. And chapter 15 is about embellishments, embroidery, knitting with beads, knitting with sequins, and other things. So again, everything is shown on the pictures. Bead sizes. There's a explanation for what weight of yarn and what size of beads you will need. Then caring for knitwear, very short, like 3 pages, but still there is something. How to clean, rinsing, hand washing, recycling yarn. And then you get an index, which is always helpful. And lastly, you get knitter's graph paper. I don't think I would use a book to do that, but still. You can try it out. And this is it. It's a really impressive book. So, yeah. Maybe I should say who published it if I'm doing a review. So, where are you? So it's 6th and Spring Books. Yeah. Other titles: Vogue Knitting International. Interesting. And it's been published in New York. So yeah, thank you so much, dear publisher, for sending me this copy. I think I can learn really a lot from it, especially I think when I will be thinking about designing my own pattern. Oh, pattern, just knit something without a pattern, let's say, and yeah, it's pretty impressive. And this is it for knitting. From other crafts, where did I put it? Oh, it's here. I'm painting a new picture. It's not done yet, but yeah, it's again a mythological painting. It's god Yash, who is god of thunder, and in this case spring, and he has a key to the land, and he opens the land so it can bloom. And there's a horsey. Close up on the horsey. So I haven't painted many horses in my life. I'd say it might be the first one or the second one, but I like it. I really like how it turned out. So yeah, I used gold on the golden key, and there will be a swallow here. I still need to paint it, and his hair, obviously. But yeah, it's my favorite technique, watercolor, and hopefully I will finish it soon. And what else? Well, this is it. If you're interested, you can stick around for my life in general segment. So, as I mentioned, I've been really ill. I had fever for 5 days. I was lying in bed, you guys, just like, how we say it, like a pancake. Like totally flat. For some days I couldn't even read because my eyes hurt. It was horrible. I know I'm complaining, but I haven't experienced something like that since I gave birth, and I was sick in the hospital after that. So for 4 years, and I haven't had fever for 4 years. I'm pretty sure about that. So luckily, well, Stasha got sick, of course, as well, but luckily it was not so serious. He recovered much quicker. My dad was here, and he was awfully sick. So it was just my mom and Gleb that were not sick. And yeah, unfortunately, because Stasha got sick, we had to cancel or actually postpone his birthday party for his friends from kindergarten, and we are planning to do it in March now. But yes, Stasha is now okay. He's going to kindergarten. I'm pretty okay now too. It's very cold outside right now. As I said, it's -8 today, and I will be picking him up by train, which is not making me happy. Not at all. Other than that, we had a great Valentine's Day, you guys. Actually, I had an idea to do something different this year. My parents were here. They came for Stasha's birthday, which is February 15th. So they were here so we could go out, thanks to that. And my idea was, because in Adlisville, in our town, there is a cable car that goes up the mountain, and from there's a beautiful view, and there's a restaurant there, and beautiful trees. It's awesome there. And I thought, since the sky was cloudless, that we could go stargazing. So we did. We went up with the cable car. We stopped by the restaurant for some mulled wine and something to eat, and then the stars were amazing, just awesome. Because, you know, up there they were much better visible without all the lights from the city. And yeah, I'm still a beginner at stargazing, but I did recognize some of the constellations, which made me very proud. And like Orion, Cassiopeia, Cepheus, is it how you pronounce it? And of course the Great Dipper. Is it Great Dipper in English? The Big Bear, Ursa Major. And afterwards we climbed down on foot, because anyway the cable car closed at 8:05. So, but it was our plan anyway to just walk down, and it was a bit of an adventure, because even though we don't have any snow in the valley, up there it's just you go out of the cable car that you've been on for like 5 minutes, no more. And it's like entering Narnia, because it's full of snow there. So 2/3 of our path downstairs, because there are stairs, more or less stairs, it was covered in snow. So it was a bit slippery and it was a bit dark, but we made it. And it was fun, it was different, we were together. And even though Gleb was crazy busy at work, at least we had some time, some quality time together, so it was nice. And other than that, I've been reading a lot of books, both on my own paper and on my Kindle, because I was just so exhausted. So it was actually really lucky that we had this nice Valentine's Day, and 2 days later I was in bed with fever. It was horrible. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again sooner this time. We wish you happy knitting, and yeah, see you around. Bye!